What's up, gentlemen? Can you hear me? And
Yep.
I got a guest tonight. Hang on, everyone. Take a minute, go to the fridge, get yourself a beer, and let's have a cold one. And it's going to be an interesting show tonight. Blake isn't here. It's his son's birthday, and he's got some stuff planned for him. And I fully condone family behaviors since I don't have a family and he does. At least someone gets to live the life. It is what it is. All right, so why don't you introduce yourself again?
Hi, guys. My name is Matthew Harrison. I was on the show, what was it, a month or so ago?
Yeah, I think it was like about 5-6 weeks back.
About a little over 3 years ago. I've been in a long-term relationship with this girl.
Hang on. Just say what your name, where you are right now, and then we'll get into the details. So, say your name again.
Okay, I'm Matthew Harrison.
Uh-huh.
I'm here in the Detroit metropolitan area.
Uh-huh.
And
you are currently in a situation with Wayne County.
Currently in a situation with Wayne County where I'm on house arrest. I've been fighting a case now for over 37 months. About 33 months of these I spent in jail.
Wow.
Been fighting for a speedy trial for well over 2 years, maybe 2.5 years now. Can't get one still.
Okay.
I've been accused of something I didn't do. It's not any evidence on my case either. So it's been interesting.
All right, now I'm looking at the chat here, and apparently we've got Rumble not working. I don't know what's going on with them. I apologize. And I want to put this out. If you guys have any super chats, and please, when you do the super chat, send an email to redonkulas12gmail.com. I will cover them at the end. Okay, because I don't have 4 screens and 4 hands. I can only do so much. I'm a grunt. I'm used to simple things. All right, so we had you on about 5 weeks ago, and you did not have a GitSendGo account then, correct?
Correct.
All right, why don't you tell everyone what that is?
Okay, right now I do have a GitSendGo account which contains a lot of the details about my trial, except for what we're about to reveal on the show tonight.
Okay.
If you go to GitSendGo, the code number is G3NJA. Title is Americans Held 3 Years Without Trial in Detroit. So it's GitSendGo.com /G3NJA.
All right. Hang on. I have another one here.
$704 so far.
All right, cool.
But we didn't have it ready last time, so.
Yeah, we were supposed to do an interview earlier today with a individual that was arrested for the January 6th craziness.
Oh, yeah.
He had a situation he could not call in, so I could not get to that. That was set up by Bart Fine. Good guy. I question his taste in women, but, to each his own. I'm a hog slayer. Whatever he likes to do, it's his business. But it is what it is. Sorry I had to put that in there. All right, now, first of all, a little bit about me in Wayne County. When I was in college, I had several different jobs. I was a process server, a repo man, and then I fought as a club fighter, kickboxer, boxer, what have you. And I went down to Wayne County probably 3 times a week to file, pick up documents, and what have you. And the clusterfuck was in full effect back then, and it really has not improved. And one of the main reasons it has not improved is of their affirmative action hires. Now, for those of you that don't understand how affirmative action works, they find a person who fits the quota that they need to plug into the system, and then they just give them the job. At best, most of those people are mediocre. At worst, flaming incompetence. And I've read your emails. I've compared them to stuff I've heard from other guys that had, caught a case in Wayne County. And I am not surprised exactly the MO that they're using on you. Okay, because this is their standard modus operandi. They throw you in jail, and they keep you there until you take a plea. Evidence be damned. You walk in there, you're not getting out unless you take a plea deal. That is not how our justice system is supposed to work. And in my opinion, it is flat out fucking criminal. All right.
I could verify that. 3 years I've seen it.
Yeah.
Every time.
So basically, what happened is you were with a crazy woman, and you let the little head do the thinking, and it take you down a bad road.
Yep.
All right. Fill us in on that a little bit, will you?
Well, she had this thing with heroin and had a very bad OD. Spent 4 days in a fucking coma. Came out even crazier than before. Just nonstop domestic violence, trying to set the house on fire. By the time I tried to call the cops, they wanted to arrest me. I was taking video of her assaulting me.
Yep.
All kinds of videos of her hitting me. It was all on my cell phone, thankfully backed up to the cloud. Eventually, I tried to help her out with rehabs and all that crap. But eventually I'd had enough. She had gotten herself moved into my new place.
Yeah.
Through some crazy reason with the West Side Police. You can go back to the last podcast if you really want to know that story. But
chicanery.
Ultimately, one day, I flushed her whiskey down the toilet. She went to get drunk with the neighbors, and they decided to call the cops and accuse me of rape.
Okay.
So I was arrested. There's no evidence. I've even got Freedom Information Act, got the report. There's not even any signs of any semen in the house anywhere.
All right, stand by.
They were checking everything.
All right, so all right, so they checked the entire house for seminal fluid. Is that what you're saying?
They were checking like spots on the walls, like the kitchen floor, like my clothing, like the pajamas I was wearing, like literally all over the place. It's like, and she's claiming I had her like tied up on the bed and was raping her, and it's like, well, why the hell are you swabbing like the bathroom floor? I mean, it's like, even if you find something in there, all that means is that I might have been doing something in there, with myself. So it's like,
all right. Okay. First of all, I'm just going to tell you this right now. If they found anything at all, they would turn it into like the centerpiece of this whole case, because it sounds like they don't really have anything other than he said, she said, and the person that making the accusation is a drug addict, alcoholic. And does this person have a history of doing this in the past? Anyone else?
I believe she does. I can't prove it. I've heard from one of her friends that I can't go down this road right now because
I got you. Right now, it's rumor. It's rumor control. I totally got it.
It's rumored that it has happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, you hire a PI.
That's a strategic thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, I'll have no problem bringing up that story, but the case is still ongoing.
I know, I got you. But what you can do is you can, get a PI to run that down. It sounds to me like.
The problem is that he was also a dope fiend, so it's like that's the problem. The real problem with finding him. We already had a PI on the case, so.
Okay. Well, I got you. But the thing is, if she has done the same thing and it went to court anywhere else, there's going to be a record of it.
Oh no! It was a threat to prevent him from doing something.
Oh, okay. All right. So it wasn't actually done. She was just threatened it. I got you. Okay. Well then. Yeah.
I'll explain it to you later, and it'll make total sense.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? And listen, this false allegation shit. Listen, if you find yourself getting, cuffed up on false allegation horseshit, don't take a plea. Don't take a plea. All right, fight it to the fucking end. They'll jam your charge sheet, scare the shit out of you. But if you didn't do it, you didn't fucking do it. Don't take the plea. And then when you fucking get out, go after these people. Show no fucking mercy. Go after the retirement accounts, fucking sue them, whatever you got to do. I don't give a fuck if you have to have the U.S. Marshals come and pound their squad cars and sell them at auction. Fuck them. This is bullshit. All right, continue on. I'm
If
sorry.
you need help,
I'm
man,
gonna see.
contact
I'm all
me
spun
after
up
this,
now.
you know,
I'm getting in a
fun.
fucking rant. God damn it. All right.
I'm getting into that line of work once I'm done with this. There's another guy, Alphonse. I believe it's pronounced Fajola. It's like Faggiolo. So he's another guy who knows how to fight the system as well. But you can fight it. A lot of people don't realize that you can. When they break the law all the time.
Uh-huh.
But there are things you can do about it. You just got to educate yourself.
All
I
right.
had nearly 3 years of law library experience, and I was an educated guy going in there. So it was, I wasn't going to waste my time in jail. And now, the biggest mistake they ever made was taking a guy who was training to become a McKinsey consultant and putting him in there with nothing to read but law library, because there isn't even a regular library in that jail. So the only reading materials you can get 5 cases a week, and I would do legal work for people to have them get me 5 cases themselves each. So, boom, that's all I was doing. All cases on how to fight the system.
What do you mean 5? What is this 5 cases a week? What do you mean?
Well, there's a thing called case law, which is also where law is decided in. By reading it too, it also teaches you how to develop arguments, what you need to, what the law actually is, and if you can quote a case, it supports whatever your position is. I don't want to get too much into legal stuff because it does get boring to the layman.
Yeah, I got you.
But it's basically I'm teaching myself law. It's basically
what you're teaching yourself is administrative violence the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Like my administrative violence is a much lower level than dealing with law craziness, and I hope to God I don't have to do that. But who knows the way this country's going. So
the thing is, I love it when lawyers get in there and disrespect me for being a pro se defendant, because I'm better than they are usually at a lot of this shit, and I can tear apart their arguments.
Mm-hmm.
They go in, then it causes them to go in there, quote cases that don't back up what they have to say, and then when you point stuff like that out to a federal judge, they get angry about it and they jump on your side. So it's, it's like that post I made about Kim Worthy on my own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
She uses that argument all the time, even though it's not valid. And you tell any judge that what I said on there, they're going to say that's right, you're a fool. You can't do that. You can't hold the speedy trial clock on a constitutional violation. So, but
I mean, by the Constitution, what do they deem a speedy trial?
Well, it's been defined as by this case, and this is where the case law comes in. The Supreme Court decided in this case called Barker versus Wingo that there's 4 factors that a court should look at in determining whether a speedy trial has been been violated, and it's a subjective thing. But they look at everything, and you don't have to hit every single one of them. The first obviously is the length.
All right. Are you there?
Then the second is they take a detailed look at who's actually causing the delay.
Okay.
So you can't sit there and keep filing your own continuances and win on speedy trial.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be the prosecution has to be or the state has to be the primary
and listen,
delay, which they often are.
And
the third.
Hang on. In the past 10 years, I've talked to about a half dozen people in Wayne County dealing with sexual assault horse shit, and every single time, they was 5 and 6 continuances. They just fucking ran the clock. That needs to stop. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna get the third one. The third one is actually really important for all you guys out there.
All right, go on.
This is assertion of the right, because they've determined that if you don't assert your rights in court, and this goes for pretty much all your rights,
correct,
you lose them. So, if your attorneys are going to tell you shit like, well, they're not going to grant that, or they're not going to grant that, I'm not going to submit that.
You still have to.
That.
Yeah.
Send your own shit to the courts. Send letters if you don't know the law.
Mm-hmm.
Demand a speedy trial as many times as you possibly can, because the more times you do that, when you go to appeal it later or fight it later, the worse it looks.
Yeah. And listen, Wayne County is notorious for this. They literally have been doing this for decades.
Yeah, and your attorneys are going to tell you shit like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put that in. Fuck them. Do it.
That's right.
As I say, even if it's just a letter to the judge, even if it's a letter to the clerk, something that's on the record saying you want a speedy trial, because otherwise they're going to say, well, he didn't ask for it. Because his attorney didn't put anything on the record.
Yeah, and listen,
and they're going to deny it.
For anyone out there, if you have attorneys that are telling you we're not doing this, we're not doing that, get a new attorney. Because, listen, you want an attorney that's really going to roll up his sleeves, stand next to you in court, and duke it out. All right? You don't need an attorney who is looking to, not piss anyone off or doesn't want to walk on eggshells. And, yeah, you don't need those people. Fuck them.
No.
All right?
They're very hard to find, man. But
yeah, they are.
Because everybody, to them, they don't really have an incentive for it. They want to have that good, cozy relationship with the judge. So,
Yeah.
But
now, listen, I understand. Listen, I know a lot of attorneys, and I understand their point of view to an extent. All right. But the problem we're having is these attorneys have let it get out of control for so long that the whole profession of law is in the toilet. Listen, when people are making jokes, what is a million attorneys at the bottom of the New York Harbor called? And people are saying, well, it's called a good start. That is not a good thing. All right, so like, if food gets scarce and shit goes fucking south, there's not going to be a lot of compassion for people who worked on the side of law enforcement. Because this has been going on for 70 fucking years now. And
well, what I've learned is their jobs aren't that hard.
No.
They just covered up in jargon to confuse people.
Yeah, you're right. But listen, and I can guarantee you there's probably a dozen people sitting in that jail right now with a very similar situation as you have. All right.
I think it's with my lawyers, I realize, Gabby is a good trial lawyer. She's not going to fight for me. But the thing is, I've trained myself to fight in federal court better. I know more about what I need to do than any attorney I think I could hire here.
I got you.
She could do herself.
I got you.
So it's like, why? I'll do my shit. Let her do her shit.
Okay. Now, I remember last time we spoke. One of the key things because
I'll be the bad guy. I'll be bad cop. She can be good cop.
I gave you some advice on how to shop your case to find an attorney that will actually sue the shit out of these people. Is you got to put it together, and it's like you're trying to sell a book to a publisher. You put all the docs in there. You do a little write-up in the beginning explaining exactly what's going on. Since you've been messing around the law library, you understand how the shit should look, so you can make it look very close. All right? And you make 50, 60 of these things at Kinko's. 60, 70 pages a piece or whatever. And it gets expensive. But when you go talk to these attorneys, a lot of times they'll hear what you have to say and like, yeah. But you're like, oh, no, here's the fucking... Boom. You put a book in front of them. And like, why don't you read that and get back to me? If you want to make money, great. If not, don't call me. Because this is a slam dunk. Like, literally, from what I've heard, is you could easily clear $10 million out of this. We're talking 3 years of your life.
Oh, that's on the very low end.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Those are settlement numbers, and then that's another thing they'll try to do is they'll try to settle, and they want you to sign a secrecy agreement. Fuck that. I'm like, no. If I have to sign any secrecy shit, I'm not signing anything. We're going to fucking trial.
Oh no, because I'm this isn't the only amendment I'm gonna sue them on. I'm suing on every one individually.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that, and I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be one hell of an uphill fight for you.
Well, the thing is, man, I'm winning this case as in the federal courts on habeas right now.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, sorry, the cats ran over here.
All right. And, the whole, habeas corpus thing, I mean, if you win in that, do they just kick your whole case and you're out?
Well, pre-trial, they really don't like to do that, but this case is so extreme that and the fact of the matter is that I do, the whole abstention thing, there's this complicated case, but there's three elements to it. There's one way you can get your case dismissed pre-trial, and that's if there's been no way to assert your rights in the state courts.
Yeah.
And that's my argument, because at every stage, from all the way up to the Michigan Supreme Court, nobody has addressed my speedy trial argument once.
Yep.
So therefore, I should legally be allowed. He should legally be allowed to dismiss my case. But there's this orthodoxy in law where they don't like to. They still don't like to. Break this little younger abstention rule. But I think this case could possibly do it. And even if it doesn't, what's going to happen is he's going to force a trial within a certain set period, usually like 30 to 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, worst case scenario, if I lose completely a trial on everything, devil's advocate, when I go back afterwards for my post-trial habeas, it's a slam dunk win. So like there's no way, like, this is a checkmate here. I mean, worst case, they make me spend a few years in prison until I get back to the feds, where I will win.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to look at this and say, everything.
If you go to jail
trial case
on any kind of sexual violation, it's going to be rough on you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that.
I don't.
I got you.
Believe me, man. Almost nobody knew I was in constant fear of people finding out about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made the mistake of telling people when I first came in and got jumped, and fucking, I'm not, people don't care if, it's a crazy ex who's making accusations. Everybody assumes you're a child molester. And it's not even that so much as that they're predators. They want an excuse to hit somebody up for your commissary and, bully you. So it's like, and I know it, and that's why they're using those charges to scare me, because every time they've offered me a plea, guess what? Guess what charges get dropped right away?
Yep.
All the CSC did.
Yep.
They want me to plead to some kidnapping or torture charge.
No.
Or that's it. But here's the thing: if an actual rape occurred, are you going to drop rape charges in a plea agreement?
Yeah, I know.
Would that be acceptable?
Yeah, that's bullshit. If they really listen, they know it's horseshit, and they want it to go away. And listen, they're gonna try this. They're gonna try the stick to scare the shit out of you, which they've done for about 3 years. In the near future, they're gonna give you the carrot, and they're gonna dangle shit in front of you to get you to take it. Don't fall for that. All right.
Well, things are going to get very interesting in the next month or two, man.
Mm-hmm. I don't know,
we'll get
man.
into it, I guess, a little bit later, because I've actually been on the offensive lately, and I'm going further on this too. So, I don't know where we want to start with that, or go straight into it, or
yeah.
But recently I found out I have not had a prosecutor on my case for what could be as long as 17 months. I know it's as long as 4 months because when I was released, she wasn't there, and I've been trying to get a hearing to get my tether restrictions reduced throughout this period, and I've been told repeatedly I can't because there's no prosecutor. And I couldn't understand this, and then I found out there's this local rule where actual attorneys actually have to meet with the prosecutor before a motion or hearing can be put on the docket. And that's kept me from being able to get into court and try to get my restrictions lifted so I can get a job and support myself.
Yep.
And I'm looking back at the record. My attorneys have told me in the past that she hasn't worked there for a year. Now they're saying they're not sure. I'm looking back at the record, and every single thing filed for the last 17 months, which was the last time I saw this woman, has been filed by me or my attorneys.
Well, since she's a prosecutor and she's paid with tax dollars, do a FOIA request on her pay stubs.
Yeah, I've already put in that FOI. And the other thing is that I put in on this same thing just last Friday a 1983 action against Kim Worthy, who is a Wayne County prosecutor.
Okay.
Charging her for first, fifth, and Article 4 violations of the Constitution.
All right, so
for denial of access to the court.
So this has all been filed.
It's probably filed today or tomorrow. It might have just been done because I mailed it Friday. It takes a couple days.
All right, so I'm just gonna go on the record here and say the way you said that and the way it sounds like this was definitely filed.
Oh, definitely they're gonna file it. The feds are on the ball about this stuff.
Okay, good.
They are not Wayne County. Believe me. Every other court I've dealt with is professional, prompt, They are about their business.
I'm
Wayne
telling
County's
you,
a joke.
the judges in Wayne County are ghetto hood rats, and they're fucking worthless. They truly are.
This is the third 1983 I filed them. The easiest one.
And listen, if I ever came into like serious fuck you money, right? We're talking, millions of bucks. I would have a billboard going on I-75 going into Wayne County and on the way out saying, "Don't do business in Wayne County. Go somewhere else." Because they're so fucking corrupt, it's insane.
I might just do that.
Yeah. I mean, people need to know. I mean, listen, you're not going to get a fair shake in Wayne County. There's a reason Detroit has not bounced back after that huge riot in 68, 70. And it's been a half a century, and it's a fucking clusterfuck. Because it's so fucking corrupt.
The craziest thing is, as I find these things out, it's like, why does nobody here care?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, no prosecutor for 17 months, man? That's a speedy trial slam dunk.
That's insane.
You cannot even claim that that's not your fault.
Now, hey,
did they even have anybody on the case?
Did they actually make a request to a surrounding county for a prosecutor to assist?
No, I went into court yesterday finally to get my restrictions lifted, and they had a stand-in. I still do not have a new prosecutor on my case, and I'm supposed to go to trial on October 31st. So that's not happening. They're gonna have somebody come in eventually and say we need more time. The good news is, if they don't have the documents they need into the feds by October 27th, I have a feeling that this federal judge is going to grant me an unconditional writ because he was pissed. They were supposed to have this stuff in on July 7th. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would be having a habeas hearing right now.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now.
And also, on the flip side of that, I've been told I can request any documents I want in addition that are related. So I don't have to wait. I can get all this shit right now.
You request everything. I want you. Listen, this is the things you need to request. All right, the body camera footage for all the officers who came to the scene. All right. Then you want transcripts of all radio conversations from the time they were there till the time you were put into Wayne County. All right. Then also you should request all email communications between officers that were present and their entire chain of command. Okay, because listen, there's a lot of times you can find nuggets in there where they're like, fuck that guy, blah, 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 where they're showing blatant bias before you've even been charged. And that will look very badly for them. Yeah. And I highly advise you to get the fuck out of Wayne County. What are you doing? You're going to get... Man, they're going to fuck with you, man. You need to get the hell out of there.
Well, things I'm probably going to head out to my brother's because, raising up in Traverse area.
Yeah.
They're going to know where I'm going to have to tell them where I live up there, but they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, and you know what? Request that from the federal judge. There, so. Just do a request for a federal judge. Do the fact that I haven't had a prosecutor, and they've violated my constitutional rights. They're looking at a huge lawsuit. I'm in fear for my life. I need to get out of this fucking county.
I've actually been thinking about that today.
You should do that.
There's so many legal things lately.
Yeah, you need to do that, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, because...
Definitely.
Wow. All right, continue with the story.
Yeah, man, right now it's just a matter of time. I got like a long list of things I'm working on, but it's definitely on there. So, yeah, while I'm doing this, of course I got to notify my habeas judge of this new fact because this is a game changer on a habeas case. This is something, I already had a slam dunk, and this is like the nail in the coffin, man. Yeah. And so I'm trying to figure out just how long this woman worked there really quick just by trying to find LinkedIn stuff. And then, dumbly, I realized, wait, this guy just told me I can ask for documents. So I'm like, I just asked him, in the same motion. Yeah, but while doing this search, I came across this case involving her, and I looked at it, and she apparently was suing her employers because, back in 2005, my original prosecutor, who was one of these super feminist, anti-men zealots, she was making me out to be Hannibal Lecter, like she really spitting venom, like that type. What happened was she was afraid one of the victims in either domestic violence, it looked like, or just a regular witness, wasn't going to show up to trial. So she requested to get a warrant to have this person arrested the day before trial.
Oh yeah.
And her superiors told her no. And
She did it
although
anyway.
she later claimed she didn't do this. I don't know, but I got to be very careful here because she's sue happy. But it looks like this is what they're saying has happened. She apparently to them called the police. It told them she had a warrant for this woman's arrest, and had them arrest her. And when her superiors found out, they were livid and released the woman and fired her. And she had the gall to file a lawsuit because they did this without giving her a hearing. And they violated her due process rights.
Well, you need
putting somebody in jail. That's not violating somebody's due
you need to
rights,
get you need to get the minutes from that meeting. You got to get that shit unsealed.
Oh, yeah. Man, so much stuff, man. So little time, man. It's like, yeah.
I know, I got you, but the thing is, like, when you go to federal court and you have evidence that the prosecutor doesn't even work there anymore and was let go for cause from a job just prior to that. Listen, oh wow, I mean, yeah, and then
I'm still working on the final motion for everything I want to request.
Correct.
So yeah, I'm tacking that on there. And it's very relevant to this case now. I don't want her personnel file from Wayne. I want a personnel file from there.
Yeah, and you want to get the unsealed. You want the records unsealed because I can almost guarantee you that's one of the things they do to look out for each other.
Yeah, none of this redacted.
They redact and they do all kinds of fucked up shit. Yeah, and you need to.
Although I don't know if Macomb will because they cater. So, but I'm going to ask for it anyway.
Well, a federal judge asking for it is a whole other animal than another.
Oh, pissed off federal judge.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, because and then you bring that up in your motion to the federal judge. This stinks of incompetence, at best. Yeah. And
I mean, this is a massive red flag. I don't even know how you can get rehired as a prosecutor after something like this.
Well, that's it. That's just it.
Don't get disbarred.
They do that. Well, the thing is, all right. The way the bar system is you can file bar complaints. Maybe they'll look into them. Maybe they won't. Usually it has to be a certain amount before they even start doing anything. And you don't really find out other than the fact that they were either put on probation, disbarred, or non-founded. Okay. Yeah. That's one thing that needs to happen across the entire profession of law is you should be able to go to a website, the bar for the state, type in the attorney's name, and there should be a list of the attorneys. You can see their their law license, and then it says good. It should be good standing, and then there should be another thing for past complaints. And then you could read if founded, not founded. Read all the crazy shit that's going on, so people can shop their attorneys. You can literally find out so much bullshit if we could just get that information. And all they really do is they watch each other's backs. And I can guarantee you, she got fired for cause. They covered everything up so she could work somewhere else and save her career. Listen, and in the meantime, this person's ruining people's lives.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the first guy.
No, you are not the first guy.
It's not really my girlfriend who's really behind all this shit. She just started this crap.
Yeah, I got you. And what else have you
don't get me wrong, man. I'm not Mr. White Knight forgiving her, but fucking the real enemy right here is that prosecutor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because fucking
and listen,
my crazy girlfriend would have sobered up and been like, oh shit, and not gone to the prelim and it would be over.
All right, you were saying that you had a witness die. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, there was this girl that at the beginning of my relationship with AJ, I shouldn't have said her name. We were in a love triangle. These two girls were after me. The other girl kind of disappeared for a while, so I ended up with that was the one. But she's known us throughout our entire relationship. She knows exactly what's going on with AJ. I've got post after post on my Facebook wall of her telling me I need to get away from her. She's using drugs. Fucking, she's crazy. She's lying to you about this shit. And so there's proof. There's a lot of evidence. She's number one on the witness list as a character witness list that I gave to my attorneys. And this is also filed in my habeas claim already.
Okay.
But I was asking my attorneys that I'm like, you got to find this girl because she knows exactly what's going on. And they're like, oh, we can't get a hold of her. We can't get a hold of her. And I found out there's a very good reason for that.
Yeah.
25 or 26 months into jail, she died.
Of what?
and that's why they couldn't find her. But when I typed her name in, I was able to find a funeral home notice. So
What did she
there
die
you
of?
go.
Do you know?
I have a primary character witness dead after I was in jail for 26 months.
Correct.
What
did she die of? Do you know?
Worse than that. What was that?
Do you know what she died of?
It didn't really say. It could have been COVID. I'm hoping it's. She was also involved in drugs as well, but so it could have been that. Although she was very serious though about getting out of that, so I don't know what happened with her.
All right, now just a word of advice moving forward: if you ever meet a woman and you hear anything about a past drug problem, you're done. Listen, just walk away. Go find something else because it's not going to end well for you. That is like the red flag of the red flags. Right there.
I know a lot of guys think this is the white knight situation, but it wasn't, man. This happened at probably the lowest point in my life. So, I just saying that, throwing that one out there, man. I don't think I'm like fucking trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho. So fucking that's the only reason I was even around these fucking girls.
I got you.
They were both super hot and.
No, listen, I got it. Listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Crazy pussy.
I didn't have a job when I met these women. So.
Yeah. Crazy pussy is the best pussy. Nothing quite does a cheetah flip onto your peg D like a crazy piece of pussy. But
I guess with those borderlines, man, they love bomb you at the beginning of the relationship.
I know. But the thing is,
they get in your head that way. That's happened with Johnny Depp, man.
After the pussy wears out, you're just stuck with fucking crazy, and that's what Johnny Depp inherited. And
I'm not lying to you, man. She was a perfect girlfriend for over a year and a half, but then that stops.
They usually can't.
Works,
well, they can't hide their fucked up shit for 2 years. I mean, usually.
Well, that's how it's how it starts out. They become the perfect girlfriend, but it lasts around that long, and then it starts slipping out. It's a whole thing with their psychosis, and it is a psychosis. They call it personality disorder now. It's a PC term.
Yeah.
But
it's a fucking.
It is what it is, man.
It's a goddamn psychosis.
But you gotta watch out for that too, like fucking. Because it's not the real person you're falling in love with. No. And I'm going to be honest, bro.
God, this just... And what have you had to say so far? I mean, I've heard this before. It's like a flow chart. It's usually the same shit. And, and let me see, like, 6 of the guys... 6 of the guys who had to deal with this, I think 2 of them are dead now. So, yeah, it's not good. What else did you discover?
If I was not released on house arrest, I would be in prison for a long time right now.
Oh, I know. And that's another thing is they don't want you to work to make money so you can fight back.
No.
Yeah.
Or just even to support myself.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem,
Yeah.
Come out with nothing because you're in there that long, you lose everything you have, and.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Hell, even the IRS, man, can't even get me my money for fucking couple of months.
Dude, I'm sorry, bro.
And none of the government support groups want to help you out, because you're.
Well, you're a dude and you're white.
Yeah.
As a white dude,
can't get into housing. All this COVID money out there, can't get any of it.
Yeah.
You're
fucked.
Even though you need it, because it's really the government's fault, and they're not even letting you work. And I was raised with a Puritan work ethic, man. Fucking, I don't like lying on a damn couch. And people, like the people I'm living with, man, like, they'll say they understand, but, they see you just lying there every day or at your computer every day, not working, not contributing. They, subconsciously, they start feeling that way and getting angry at you. And it does come out.
No, I got you.
It's a hard life.
No, it sucks, man. I got you. Yeah. And listen, I totally understand. And, that like when it comes to damages, bro, you need to ramp this stuff up because well, first of all, you're gonna have this hanging over your head for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
All right, you have
even if you win, you lose.
How are you going to explain 3 years of not working?
Yeah, exactly. As an engineer, like you're supposed to be constantly up on new technology.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. So, if I were you, I'd get up to speed on the cutting edge technology.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I got a lot of Udemy classes I bought way before this. I never got in. Had the time to watch.
And when you go back on
an hour a day.
And when you go back when this gets cleared up, and you go looking for a job, Just tell them that you had a bout with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and you couldn't work.
Well, the problem is, man, like these days with the background checks, they're going to find out everything you were even charged with. Like,
I got you.
Like I've had to explain my terrorism charges in the past for that incident with the police. Because, as I said, they mark you up. They throw all kinds of crazy shit on you, just to get that bond rate.
Well, I mean, I got investigated by the United States Army CID for I participated in the AR RAP program, which if you put somebody forward to join the military and they actually went to basic, they cut you a check for it. And I put in, in 3 or 4 years that I participated, I think I put in like 12 people in the Army. And, years later, they went back and called these people and, hey, you remember this guy? And one guy said no. So then all of a sudden, now I'm getting, charged with wire fraud and all kinds of crazy shit. And since I was on active duty at the time, I had to go to CID and actually go through the whole fucking bullshit. And so I know I'm in the database. So,
man.
Yeah, and you never get out of that database. And I'm sure I was in there already because, of my credentials in the Army. And it is what it is.
Well, I mean, thankfully, I'm not in an actual like terrorism type database, but it's like nowadays every time they throw that stuff on the internet, and then all these other companies pick it up, and it never goes away.
Yeah, I know.
They're not really supposed to do it.
That's
so I
right.
got to explain to these guys that in Michigan, you can be charged with terrorism for threatening to kick a cop's ass, which is what I did, and it's not a real even charge, but they throw this stuff on you. It's called a floater to scare you. But it looks so horrible,
Yeah, I got you.
A lot of people in Michigan get charged with this for minor shit, for protesting or complaining to the government. But the great thing too is that's like one of those crimes where it's like automatically people assume you're guilty and they don't even give a shit about the evidence.
No, listen. Now I had I shouldn't say it's a similar situation, but in the Army, I had a run-in with a female first lieutenant. Her first name was Brandy. I'm not going to say her last name. And it was over something just stupid and petty. All right. And the bottom line is I got asked to leave the office where I was to take a different office, which no problem. I got it. Went to the other place. I left behind a calendar on my desk. And a lot of the soldiers in the unit, I had actually known them for years, and I recruited them in. And one of them, for a joke, decided to draw a penis on the Friday the 13th thing it was like 3 months in the future. So a few months later, she comes storming in my office. What's this? What is this? And I'm like, that looks like a penis, ma'am. How did it get here? I go, I don't know. And, well, it was in your calendar you left behind, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I have suspicions, but I don't really know who did it. And she's like wanting me to name names. I'm like, ma'am, I don't do witch hunts, and I'm not participating in that craziness. She got mad, stormed out. No big deal. Now, I had a nanny cam in my office that covered the whole thing on tape. I mean, literally, she's standing, center frame, saying what she's saying, the back and forth. You can hear it on the dialogue. 2 weeks later, I get walked into the battalion commander's office with Sergeant Major, First Sergeant, and I am getting basically read the riot act. They're going to throw me out of the service for this shit. And I was reading this craziness, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, I'll be right back. And the battalion commander is like, no, you're going to wait here. I go, ma'am, all due respect, fuck off. I'm going to get evidence that's going to nuke this right now. Went back, pulled the footage, burned it onto his CD, brought it right into the office, put it on the laptop. Everyone saw and heard exactly what happened in that office. And then they're like, oh, yeah, well, this is obvious overstatement. I'm like, no. You brought me in here. I now have copies of all of this counseling that you put on me. All right. This is going to IG. And she's like, good. Take the IG. I go, no, ma'am. This is going to DOD IG. And every IG office is from there to here is going to know exactly the horse shit that's going on here. and I'm gonna lodge a formal complaint with the first general in our chain of command. Get ready for bad news. And I nuked everyone. Everyone. And that's the way you have to handle it. You cannot go easy. And like this first lieutenant, I had her reassigned somewhere in Chicago, and then later on she couldn't hack it and got out. Fuck her. She won't need her anyway. But the thing is these women have this, like, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And if they know they can dial 3 numbers on a phone and you're going to fucking jail, and it's going to take 1 to 2 years to unfuck the whole thing, and by the way, you can't sue them. Yeah, what the fuck? We're going to have to start fucking getting medieval and wrecking these women in court. Taking their assets, let them live on the fucking street or not work based on bullshit, so they can fucking, feel exactly what it's like to get fucked over like this. So.
You know what amazes me too? Like, people will get angry at you for calling somebody, say, incompetent, who is incompetent.
Yeah, I don't care. I will.
In this example, I'm about to say, like, by not filing, say, a motion for 3 months, this person had to spend 3 months of living hell in Wayne County Jail every day in pain, real pain, actual pain.
You know what?
Fucking, like, people are upset about this stuff that doesn't even hurt, really.
No,
Somebody called you a name.
This is what you should do in court, just to piss off the judge. You should ask the judge a question: at what time hack in this whole crazy process do we have to get to before I can start labeling people incompetent? They will go berserk, but there's nothing they can.
Oh man, I got a judge that's not even talking to her court. She goes, she starts cussing me out, and oh man, fucking.
Yeah, and get the transcripts. Get the transcripts and file a formal complaint with the judge.
Oh yeah, I can't get too. That's another strategy thing I can't get too into. But
I know. Listen, I
can't telegraph too
much.
Well,
I understand. I'm going to tell you what I covered in my administrative violence course. You do a Freedom of Information Act on the judge, all the donors for election. Mm-hmm. Then you do another FOIA for all cases that this judge has ever seen. And then you simply look down the names of donors and names on cases and see if anyone who donated money to the campaign got a good, favorable outcome. Or hell, even if they've heard the case, they should have recused themselves. That's a formal complaint right there.
Yep.
And then, judges, attorneys, technically, they have to follow law, and they have to this nebulous cloud called ethics. But now you have a database of all the people who have ever been in front of this judge. And you can say, hey, look, you want to file a formal complaint, get the transcripts when she was bad-mouthing you or talking down to you, file a formal complaint.
Well, I'm definitely asking for all those in the habeas request.
Correct.
Because the judge does need to know that I tried to address this on the record several times, and I was screamed down.
Yeah, I know.
And I can't imagine what his reaction might be when he starts seeing a stream of F-bombs.
Yeah, I mean, judges should not be doing that. Now, listen, okay, typically, the only time I could actually get behind a judge being a fucking asshole like this is right before sentencing. That means they've already looked at the evidence, a jury has found you guilty, you're hit. And then the judge can give his opinion, like, hey, you fucking piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. I got no problem with that. But during the whole process, when you have your own judge, like, you motherfucker, fuck, that is, one, it's a sign of complete lunacy and idiocy. All right?
You got to understand, I'm not one of these guys in there cussing out the judge. I'm basically trying to explain why they're making a mistake.
No, I got you.
What's wrong? Sometimes she asks me a direct question, and I respond to it, and she yells at me. So it's like, well, why did you ask?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm just.
Man, I kind of want to remind anybody who hasn't seen the previous episode. My girlfriend also spent 2 of the last 9 months we were together in a mental institution, and I have all kinds of video of her assaulting me as well. Nobody will look at it.
And you know
that's
what?
Something we will get into as well later, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and you know what?
This is a very strong case here. This isn't like just
you can actually subpoena her medical records from the psycho house and bring those into court.
Yeah, I tried that, and the judge the judge didn't read the motion because she thought she obviously didn't know what I was asking for. She thought I was asking for something else.
File it again.
Basically proof.
And file it
Another
again.
thing I'm putting in, because I want the judge to know she doesn't read this shit.
Yeah.
Well,
the
and
thing
she cussed me out on that one because I was trying to correct her and tell her, no, she was in a mental institution. She's not on antidepressants, antipsychotics.
That's right. And what the thing is get the information. If you can't get it, file the motion. If she denies it, attach it to a motion for federal court, denial of your fucking constitutional rights through speedy trial, and go through whatever amendment that they're not following, which is basically all of them, and that's on itself is a whole other fucking case.
You know, the big problem right now with trying to go for that in the regular court is I don't want to do anything on my end to delay the trial now.
I got
this by the balls on that. But it's always something I can appeal on if I want to later. And I think when the judge does see that I asked for this and she denied it, there's so much fuckery in this that I honestly do think the feds are going to throw it out.
Yeah, you can have the federal judge subpoena the mental health records.
Yeah, and I'll try, man. I might as well.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
no
if the judge already said, just ask for whatever you need. You go, look, she's fucking nutso.
Yeah.
She was in the fucking. One, she's using drugs. Two, she was in the psycho bin. Three, I have like a whole bunch of videos here showing her fucking going nuts on me. This is a slam dunk fucking case. And now, and you know what? You get that video evidence in front of the federal judge.
Yeah.
It can't hurt.
Right. I mean, he might say no, but I have nothing to lose.
Yeah. One, you have nothing to lose. Two, the worst thing he could do is go, I can't look at that. Okay, fine.
Yeah, because I mean,
but it's still in the public record. It's still in the public record. Even if
medical records are sealed by HIPAA and shit, but
no, but the
request
it's a
little bit hard to get, but he might do it,
No, he might. Fuck it, but the request is there.
I mean, once he sees too that it was how it was treated,
Yeah, I mean,
they have a lot. They have a lot of power to correct things.
Yeah. Well, first of all, she's a fucking psycho, drug addict, right there. Has she been in trouble with the law since?
No, they've been keeping her clean. I guess I've been trying to find evidence because I don't trust my attorneys to do what I asked them to. So
no, don't. No, it doesn't sound like they have your best interest at heart here. And I bet you 10-1, they're gonna come at you and go, "Hey, look, you got to take a plea to get out of this. This is fucking. You don't."
Oh, I guarantee you, they're gonna come at me with that.
If they fucking just say, "Listen, what did I tell you? I'm not taking a fucking plea. We're going to fucking trial. Let's make this happen." Boom.
No, I'm drafting a new speedy trial motion for the state court, and it's gonna include the federal shit in there. It's gonna include the lawsuit against Kimworthy, and I got a reason for doing that. I can't get into that, but
I got you.
Yeah,
I hear you. I know because there's a lot of stuff going on. So what else are you gonna say? You're talking about. We already talked about the woman that died. And then you're saying that they seized a cell phone with no warrant?
Yeah. The thing is, I put this Freedom of Information Act in because I didn't really get much discovery, and that's another big thing they do here in Wayne County is they don't give you discovery, usually for like a year or two, even sometimes, when they're supposed to give it right away. I might look into doing a class action sometime in the future about that one.
Yeah.
That does need to be fixed. But so I just asked him. I wanted to know a record of everything that was seized from the property. I didn't even specify the cell phone because I didn't want to tip them off.
Mm-hmm.
Who authorized whatever warrants?
That's right.
The entire chain of command. Who authorized them to take the cell phone? The names of badge numbers of everybody. And I get this Freedom of Information Act. And I'm thumbing through it. I'm like, where is the shit I asked for?
Correct.
And then I finally get to the evidence page and find out. They just went back in there. The cell phone was not on my person, so it wasn't like they went back in and looked for it, and they grabbed it and they put it into evidence for safekeeping.
Correct. Okay.
For me, apparently.
Uh-huh.
So when I found this out yesterday after reading this, I kept calling the West Point Police Department all day trying to get to the property room. I'm like, hey, I hear you have my cell phone in there for safekeeping. Is there any way I can send my buddy over there to get it?
Yeah.
And, they kept blowing me off and sent me to the sergeant who wouldn't answer his phone. So I'm like, hey, if you call me back on this, it's a serious matter.
Uh-huh.
And then 3 hours later, I call back, same thing. And I'm like, please, can you call me back? When I said this was a serious matter earlier for me, I didn't mean it was serious for me. I meant it was serious for you, because there appears to be a major Brady Giglio violation here.
Yeah.
And I need to make sure that cell phone's still in evidence so I can get it. Please call me back right away, and they haven't done that.
Yeah. And
for
you
those
know
of
what?
who don't know,
just file the Giglio violation in federal court.
Oh, I'm going to. I mean, it's funny because I talked to my attorneys right after this, and they're like, "Oh, the cops aren't going to give it to you." I'm like, "Yeah, they will." And she's like, "No, they aren't." And I'm like,
"Okay."
My first thought was just, "Okay, I can do one of two things. I can tell them I'm going to do what I'm about to do, or I can just do it." And at the time, I didn't care either way. Now I'm leaning, of course, to number two anyway. But I can say, okay, when they tell me, they're going to tell me to call my lawyer, and I'm going to say, no, I'm going to talk to I'm going to have a federal judge order you to give it to me. And they're going to say, well, federal judge can't do this. This is property. It's got to go through the states. And I'm like, ordinarily, yes, but if you can, if you attach it to a 1983 that's on a collateral matter that's existing, which I happen to have against Kim Worthy right now, who is also involved in this fucking action. So I can move that into the federal court. And to ask for that back, I would have to charge every single Westland police officer who showed up that night, which looks to be like half the damn force. With
Do it.
A Giglio violation.
Do it. Go ahead, file. Yeah. And the minute they get that paperwork, they're going to go berserk. You need to be out of that
They're going to
city.
shit their pants because, to those who don't know, being on the Giglio list means you cannot work in law enforcement again. You cannot testify in court.
Well, you can still work in law enforcement, but you can't. You're not a trustworthy witness.
Yeah. And so really, nobody will hire you.
Yeah. Why would they even bother doing that then?
Yeah. And the thing is that for those who don't know, Brady, Giglio, there are two cases that involve destruction of evidence or failure to turn it over to the defense attorneys, which has happened in this case.
Oh, yeah.
I have multiple videos on the cell phone of my girlfriend assaulting me, all kinds of other shit that would prove that a lot of things I've been saying.
Have you said, is that footage, can you still get that? Is it in the cloud or something?
Oh, according to my attorneys are now telling me that, we just got that footage.
No.
It's like, okay, well, really?
You need to say, you got the footage? I need to see it. Show it to me.
Yeah, well, I'm meeting them on Thursday to have a big conference, and,
Are you now, is it just going to be you and your attorneys at this meeting, or are they going to call? Okay.
I've been trying to get this one for months, too. I've been out for 4 months. My trial's in, like, a month away, and it's like we're just now preparing for this, and I've discovered so much new stuff since I've been out.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a meeting, like, for literally months, and finally got one.
Yeah, but listen, man, when this all blows over, if you're not satisfied with how your attorneys were, go after their law licenses as well. Because it sounded to me like, they're going along to get along, and they're doing the bare minimum. I mean, okay, I'm not there. This is just my opinion from what I'm hearing from you. And my ESP is telling me that there's something fishy going on. So... yeah, you should definitely get that looked at, man.
Believe me, there's not no stone going to be turned on this. No right that's not going to be going after, man. Because this is like, what we threw. Like it changed me inside, dude. Like it took a lot out of me, and I don't really care. I mean, if you know this, man, I've changed my account name on YouTube to the Count of Monte Cristo, man.
I like it. I like it. And listen, people don't seem to understand that when you decide to fuck with somebody, you should really think about it long and hard, because you quite literally could be standing up a monster that will haunt you for the rest of your motherfucking life.
I have 4 lawsuits right now in federal court, and every single one of them has merit, evidence, and damages.
Yep. And you probably got 2 more.
None of it's bullshit. It's all gotten through. I'm not some dumb jailhouse lawyer complaining about the food.
No, I got you. Or getting your ass thumped or something.
The thing is, these guys are so arrogant and stupid. They break the laws all the time. And this is the same in most big cities.
All right, so how was what happened in your 3 years in Oakland County, or in Wayne County Jail?
What happened in there?
Were you assaulted?
Yeah, multiple times. Got in multiple fights because... a lot of these guys act tough, but like fights in there, they're almost never one-on-one. It's always like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't get into too many because I'm a big guy, and I can handle myself. But I'm generally easy to get along with. It also I know if I'm going into a shitty cell block to just move. But there was one time where I actually was nearly sexually assaulted by a fucking schizophrenic they bumped me with. I woke up to find this guy jacking off like 3 feet from my face. That's in one lawsuit.
I
told the deaths this guy about it, and they thought it was a fucking joke.
Yeah, and you know what? I literally would have fucking knocked that motherfucker unconscious and have the guards come.
Dude, he was covered with shit, dude. That I was like, fuck, I didn't want to go near him, man.
I understand, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Man.
Yeah, like I'm not. It is so bad, dude. This guy he had one hand on his thing, the other was shoving a towel up his ass. He was covered in feces, and he's just leering at me. Fucking, who knows what this motherfucker could have done to me in my sleep, man.
Yeah,
and I told the guards for days, this guy is nuts. I want to move, and this is all on record.
Yeah, and file a lawsuit for that too. Go after the fucking jail.
That's just part of a lawsuit because they weren't passing out meds for months.
Yep.
So it's all of these are hardcore winners. It's kind of hard though to get an actual attorney on these 1983 cases because so many inmates are morons that they automatically assume you are when you say this is what I got. So if there are any federal attorneys or know a good one, these are all winner cases. I kind of need somebody to come in and take over and do the discovery type work and the trial work.
I got you, but the best way, like I said, you put together the packets and you put it in front of them and sell it that way.
Yep.
Because
another thing is like they wouldn't give me any dental care in there despite the fact I had insurance. God, I lost 2 teeth, nearly lost 2 more. I have like $5,000 to $6,000 worth of dental damage. The dentist I went to did a great job. They had a whole printout of all my teeth, all the damage done to each one.
Yeah.
And I literally had perfect teeth when I went in there, and I can get that. I'm getting that from my other dentist.
Yep.
And all the pain of all this of 2 molars slowly rot on my teeth, my mouth. I would not get them pulled because I kept being told my trial was coming up in 3 or 4 months, and I wanted to get them fixed. I take care of my shit. I'm not one of these crackheads that comes in this place.
Yeah, I got you.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's boredom. There's no library, no sports, nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's just hell in there, man, all the time. And,
yeah, and they use it to wear you down.
They underfeed you. People are stabbing each other over noodles because they don't have enough to eat. It's what they do give you is horrible. But
yeah,
people are fighting over that because it's the only food you have. And you don't know how things are going to change. One new person coming onto the rock can change the whole makeup.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's not a good place to. Yeah, normally if you're in there that long, they like give you a job or something like sweeping the floor or fucking.
I mean, you know the system very well. You know the old side, right?
Yeah.
That's where I was, and that jail. This is not the jail they show people on TV ever. This place is something out of the third fucking world.
Yeah, it's the old fucking
bars covered with mold, filth everywhere. Nothing works. It's like either you got feces coming down out of the ceiling. It is vile. I mean, it's like something you expect to see in Mexico or India or God knows where.
Yeah, Wayne County's fucked, man, and I don't know, man.
Everybody in there is a murderer.
All right, now hang on a minute. All right, so if you guys are doing a super chat, on any of the other platforms, just attach it to an email to redonkulas12@gmail.com. When we get done talking with him, I'm going to go through all the super chats and answer any questions you guys have. All right. So, what are some of the other things you discovered since you've been out?
Okay. Well, let's see. Fuck. My mind's drawing a blank, but I'll look at this. We talked about how the prosecutor's dirty. Kim Worthy, lawsuit served, blah, blah, blah. Currently winning my federal habeas case. Okay. I know I'm kind of...
I know it's a lot, man. It's a lot. That's why you need to get a couple people to help you out with this, bro.
Well, that's the thing. I got too much legal work now. I mean, I got a reference to one guy who might be taking over the medical lawsuits because it's just a lot of paperwork and discovery requests and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm finding out these things all the time. I'm going to be finding out a lot. But I might be having to leave the county. I can't really. I don't know if I should even go after the cops yet because I'm living on the border of Garden City and Westland. So I'm worried they'll just have me killed. I mean, we're talking about people's careers here.
Yeah,
so
I know. I understand. That's why you get the motion in front of the federal judge to move you the fuck out of the city and move you out of the county up north, and then file your paperwork on the cops. Fuck them. Listen. I'm not one of those guys who blatantly just hates cops. I don't. All right. What I hate is the fact.
The Wayne County sheriffs are all on my side on this one.
Yeah. Well,
they're the one.
Yeah, but this is the thing that is bothering not just me but the rest of the country. We have a constitution that is supposed to apply to everyone, but then we have a special class of individuals who enjoy either total or qualified immunity. And they can violate that constitution whenever they want and completely free of any downside to them. So I'm just going to ask you guys out there, with that in place, do we actually have a constitution? Because I'm going to say we don't. And the whole qualified immunity needs to get fucking fixed. And the best way to do that, number one, you got to have a database on the judges so everyone can see their complaints. You got to have a database on every fucking lawyer so you can look up their bar number and see their fucking complaints. All right? Because a lot of bullshit wouldn't happen if there's a light of truth on it to begin with. All right? Next.
Yeah, there's not enough checks and balances on the judicial.
That's and next, problem. Fucking start sue these cops and take their fucking 401ks. Yep. That listen, a cop is going to be like, all right, well, I could run this guy down. Maybe this, maybe that. I don't know. It doesn't, maybe that'll force them to err on the side of caution.
Yep. Well, they're so used to getting lawsuits from people who don't know what they're doing, man. If you just take a little bit of research or find the right guy, and they fuck up all the time, and I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the future on this, man.
Well, listen, if I have to put together a pro se lawsuit, I'm definitely going to give you a call and pick your brain. Because you've had 3 years.
Man, because that's one of my specialties here.
Yeah.
And just to correct you, I don't mean to be a dick.
It's cool.
We're talking about absolute immunity, and that's what judges have.
Yes.
But absolute immunity isn't absolutely absolute, and they've kind of forgotten about that. But I don't want to get too much into that one because it's a strategic issue.
I got you. But the thing is,
qualified immunity, you can sue them for constitutional violations. Nothing else.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, I mean,
the thing is, if you have the wherewithal to go to federal court and you have proof of you just gather the proof, the feds will take your side because that's part of what they do. The state courts, they don't really seem to give a shit about the Constitution. Maybe some states do. Michigan doesn't. So I can't speak to all, but but you can win there.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, it shouldn't take 3 fucking years. It shouldn't take a whole year. No. I mean, this was complete bullshit from the beginning. All it really would have taken were a couple of people to show up and go, yeah, this bitch is fucking crazy.
Well, that's why I'm not so angry at my ex anymore, is because it's like all these people who are supposedly trained, like they're dragging this thing along knowing it's bullshit.
All right.
My ex is just some crazy fucking drunk bitch. She was drunk when she made the statement. Why the hell are the cops... why is this going like this?
And
man?
You know what? Don't go easy on her. Sue the shit out of her as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she's a junkie and has nothing. The thing with her is,
I don't care.
What's going to happen? And I'll tell you why I'm not worried about it. Eventually, I might, who knows? But what's going to happen is once Wayne County starts getting hit, and they're going to get hit, they're definitely going to get hit for over $100 million combined with everything, at least.
Okay.
They're going to take their anger out on her.
Well, good.
They're going to do things to her I could not fucking shit.
I understand.
That's far worse than taking any money. They're going to make her go through what I went through. So
well, good. Good. I have no mercy for these women. If what happened to me happened to you, I would be doing the same thing, and then I would go after her. I would fucking ruin her life until the day she quits fucking breathing.
She already ruined her own damn life. That's the other thing. It's like, how do you really sue somebody who already fucking has nothing, you know? But as I say, they're going to do things to her that are worse than anything I could possibly do.
Yeah, but you never know. Maybe fate is crazy. Like maybe she buys the lottery ticket and wins $10 million, but you didn't have a judgment and you don't get any of it. Get the fucking judgment, and then if she
Yeah.
wins money in a windfall,
The thing is,
take
you already
it.
have all these liens on her anyway.
Well, I know, but you never know. You never know.
Well, I mean, yeah, if it happens, the thing is, I'm not ruling it out, but
Yeah.
it's just not high priority for me right now.
I got
Because,
you.
as I say, dude, she's gonna end up doing some prison time because the state's gonna be pissed off. That's what's gonna happen.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I mean, look what happened with that actor in Chicago, man.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what happens, you know.
Well, I didn't really look at that. You're talking
They
about.
aren't doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they're mad. They can't come after me.
Uh-huh.
So who are they gonna go after?
Yeah, because well, I'll tell you right now, the Westland Police. They're talking 20 cops or something. If you name them all in the fucking lawsuit to ruin their careers, dude, they're going to be pissed as fuck.
You got to think about it too. Like even the ones who I don't win against, I'm going to win against some, not all, but they're going to have that on their record forever, man.
Forever.
Like, and people, it's going to be the same thing as me going in there and having to explain rape. They're going to have to explain Giglio.
Yep. Yes,
and does a new police department want to take a chance on that?
Yep. Absolutely correct. Fucking hammer them. No mercy. All right.
And it's.
What else? What were you saying?
Well, what I would say is like I hooked up with a guy like a kindred spirit, Fonzie. I think Fajoli, as I mentioned earlier, he's learned how to fight the system in different ways than I have. So we've kind of been teaching each other things. And he knows a lot more about how to go after the judges and stuff. So I'm going to learn that later on. But
okay.
There's a lot of stuff out there you could do to fight back.
And you know what? I think I'm gonna have to sit down with you and pick your brain, and because I'm working on administrative violence, corporate edition, and then the Working Man Survival Guide. There's probably a lot of.
Yeah, I was looking at those videos, the ones you posted on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the money to buy anybody's seminars yet. Eventually will, but it's
look, bro. Listen,
this is something I'm going to be doing for quite a while.
Why don't we do
and
this?
I might even start. I might start doing a YouTube channel on it as well because this has become fun to me.
Listen, I will drive out to your house.
I
will drive out to your house and deliver a goddamn thumb drive. You're what, downriver? That's like an hour away. It's not.
I'm in Garden City.
It's so what?
I used to live right in Royal Oak, right by Luna.
Yeah. Luna, the place where they paid you to drink.
Yeah, I remember. It was like a fucking there's like a exactly.
You pay the cover,
it was,
and like you drink for almost nothing. I can't believe the place went out of business. What are you gonna do?
it was like 3 streets south. It was.
Yeah,
I loved living out there in Royal Oak. Fucking, I moved to Wayne as soon as I could go to Wayne County once. Everything's fucked.
Yeah, and I used to pull some. I used to pull some good choach out of there in my early 20s. I was still rocking.
Yeah. There was it was always good for that. There's a Coney Island right across the street.
Yeah,
didn't have
still there. Coney Island's still there.
And then it's the same. I had that little townhouse, fucking 4 or 5 blocks down towards Royal Oak. And
you lived in those? I lived in those too. You're talking the ones right by the across the
Woodmere, I think.
Yeah, they're across from that park where that used to have the train tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I lived in those. I lived in that shithole for 18 months.
Fuck my neighbors, probably.
Yeah,
not.
Probably not at the same time.
Yeah, I was there for like 4 years or something, man.
Yeah, I was there.
That's where I was living when I got arrested in Northville. Fucking. I go to Wayne County for one fucking night. My entire life's ruined, man. I'm not kidding on that one.
Yeah, I know. Well, the jury's still out on that, but yeah.
Oh no, I think ultimately, this is going to work out in that way better for me because I'm financially independent. Going to write a very good book about this. But write a stream of a novel like this, and it's all. I don't even have to write it. It's all true.
It's all true.
It's crazier than fucking anything I can invent.
And here's something that will actually, I think that you should focus on once you beat this. Get your own law license, and go after these people.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that. I kind of view myself more as an anti-lawyer right now. But yeah,
I understand, but listen, you've been in there. You know the fucking fucked up bullshit they do. I'm sure there's, right now, there's probably a dozen guys in the same boat as you who don't have help, who don't have a high IQ like you do, who can, go read the books and figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and if you get a really good settlement, you don't need the money. You're doing it basically for your purpose in life.
And I'm not the type of person who cares about bling bling and the fastest car.
No,
I don't
neither
need
am I.
super life. As long as I get enough to get an annuity to draw my old salary for the rest of my life, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Or even more.
Yeah.
Probably twice that because of inflation now, but, you know.
I got you. But the thing is,
anything beyond that's gravy. You know?
I mean, you've already done 3 years of law school. Now all you got to do is just go through the bullshit.
Bored, to be honest, because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And I started off with a skill set where I'd already gone to a school that was as academically, actually more academically fucking brutal than any law school. So it's not like this was hard for me to pick up. And it's funny because I keep going in front of these lawyers, and they're always so arrogant about this shit. And most of them are idiots. They really don't know, aren't that good.
Huh. Yeah, they're not.
I mean, they really aren't. Like they're in their profession. There are people at the top, and then everybody else is just garbage.
It's fucking insane, man.
And I went to business school because a lawyer friend Warren told me, "Don't take the LSAT. Being a lawyer sucks. Fucking go to business school." And like the things, I don't need like to even go to law school because I already have a degree that can make me way more money.
No,
but I mean, I just love doing this because I want to bring these people down.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Listen, I got you. I got you.
But really, I could join up with any lawyer and have him be the guy who.
Well, like
does
for
the law
like
work.
my
like
situation.
That old guy in that one show.
Like my situation.
Just being the.
I got fucking royally hammered
guy.
in divorce court. Lost my kids. Lived in a car. I was fucking homeless. Literally was on the verge of putting a gun in my mouth. And I was able to pull out of it. I had a former officer of mine take the bullet that was meant for me. And changed my entire life. I'm like, okay, this is serious shit. And I'm going to fight this. And that's what I've been doing ever since. I've been using comedy and stuff to fight this. But because, there's a lot of people that are right there at the line and there's no more fucking hope for them, man. And when you find yourself in that situation, if you can learn to laugh, you fucking light your own fucking torch and navigate your fucking self out. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I thanked you on the last episode and you didn't understand why at the time, because it was like that one thing, like, just shifted something in my head and gave me that confidence and reminding me of who I really was. And I'm not this, because they break you down, they make you feel you're guilty of this shit.
Yeah, I know.
And that you're worthless. And if you look at that old podcast, dude, I sound like somebody's completely miserable, incoherent, and it's, now I got the confidence. I'm going after these people. I don't give a shit what my lawyers are telling me. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. And, and let's see what happens when Kim actually gets that lawsuit, looks at it. She's gonna laugh and think it's another thing, and then she's gonna turn the page and go, "Oh fuck."
Yep.
My charges might get dropped right away, or she might try to double down.
They're gonna have to double down. They have to double down, bro. I'm just telling you right now. Mm-hmm. They're gonna double down until they realize it's really gonna blow up in their face, and then they're gonna play nice. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Well, they double down. I file again for retaliation.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Then I also have further grounds to remove it to federal court.
Yep.
Which I'm thinking about doing right now. Anyway.
That's what I would do. Listen, if every time you open your mouth, the judge is like, "Fuck you, piece of shit," blah blah blah. Why are you even there? Get the fuck out of that court.
Exactly. Why can't you send me to a court that actually is open then?
Yeah, or one that's fucking non-biased, is completely unbiased.
Because I went there Monday, they're still not really open. They're like still dicking around. And the only reason they even opened up is because Joe Biden suddenly said, "Oh, COVID's over." It's like, you guys have been shut down for over 2.5 years, man.
Yeah. And listen, they're lazy motherfuckers. I mean, they were lazy.
Because they don't want to go to work. They got used to getting that money, getting paid not to sit at home,
They like to sham jobs. Like, literally, I would show up at the court at like 10 o'clock. The judge wouldn't even be on the bench until like 11. And then he would be on the bench till about 12:15. And they would take lunch till about 2. And then he would open again for another like maybe hour. And then that's their fucking work day. 2.
You know why I laugh so much at that when you said that, dude? Because I've said that exact thing to my parents, and they think I'm lying or exaggerating. Yeah. It's the truth.
Are they listening to this podcast? Do they know you're going to be on?
I don't know if they are. My brother certainly is. I'll try to get them into it, but they don't want to know anything about this trial. It bothers them. They're older. I don't know.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'll
Yeah,
see
I
what I can do.
understand. Your parents are older, and it's
Like they're also of the type where they think you're arrested, you are guilty, and
yeah. Unfortunately, there's a
it
lot of
took a
people.
while for my brother to convince him that, Matt didn't do this. He didn't do this. You raised him fucking like,
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
I've never even been in a relationship where domestic violence occurred before I got involved with this girl.
All right, so let's wrap this up. We've been going on for fucking almost an hour and a half, man. Woo, that went quick.
Yeah.
So, any other quick developments that you got going on? Again, talked about your good
what happened when I went to
GitSendGo.
trial yesterday?
What happened?
Oh, I went to trial yesterday to get my try to get my tether restrictions listed. Both. Okay, I thought I was going to meet my new prosecutor, which I still don't have. They had a stand-in there. Both sides agreed that I should be allowed out of the house between 7 and 7. My judge was like, "No, I want to know first, like, what interviews you got lined up in the next."
It's
2
none
weeks.
of your goddamn business what your interviews are. And that,
she's asking us questions, so I tell her. I'm not going to make an interview with somebody or promise to somebody that I'm going to show up for an interview with if I don't know yet whether or not I can be there. That's unprofessional. It can get me banned from companies because it shows you're unreliable.
Yeah.
When you're basically asking to take a chance on you. And she's like, that's not a good excuse. Well, it's because Wayne County doesn't know, these people don't know professionalism.
Well, first of all, you file a formal complaint against the judge for that because you are entitled to your First Amendment rights. You can fucking have interviews. You can talk to whoever the fuck you want. All right, unless
it's interesting because that's actually the first time she's ever allowed me to speak in court.
Yeah, and literally get the fuck. You need to get away from this judge. She stinks of nothing but corruption and incompetence.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, bro. I'm gonna have to cut this short here. Oh well, we're not cutting it short, but I am going to go to the email, check some super chats, and see what we can do with this. All right, man?
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
Anytime, brother.
Listen, keep you up to date.
Okay, I will.
Cool.
All right, let's get this. You take it easy, all right?
All right, will do. Bye.
All right. And we have officially... Gotta end this. Hang on. Hang up. Call ended. Okay, good. All right. So hopefully you guys like this show. I like to, I want to actually have a call-in show where people can call in and tell their horror stories. Their breakup stories, their divorce stories, slingback stories. Guys are getting hit with false allegations left and right. And, quite literally, it's impacting us all. My personal opinion is this: if you're working in the civilian sector and you have to work alongside women, you don't say shit to them. You show up, you clock in, you do your job, and you fucking leave. Period. All right. And when they try to engage you in any of their horse shittery, you be like, listen, I'm at work. I'm here to work. That's it. You work at the same company as me. You're officially off limits. Thank you. No, thank you. I'll take a pass and get on with your life. Because this is fucking ridiculous. All right, let's look here. I'm going to go through what we've got. Just a few super chats here. Again, if you send in a super chat, send an email to redonkulas12@gmail.com. I'm going to go through it here shortly. Okay, let's see. We got one here from Dario. Let's see. MGTOW monk for almost 4 years now. I can tell I am thought detoxed, and I do not miss it at all. The juice is not worth the squeeze. I dedicate my free time to hobbies, BJJ, Muay Thai, and gunsmithing. Excellent. Can't go wrong with that. And then we got one here from channel 1-800-DUMB. Thank you for being you. Thank you. I appreciate your support. I got another guy here. I live in Westland, and I'm amazed they did that to Matt. I've had good experiences with Westbourne PD, but our courts are absolute cartel, correct? And guess what? Unfortunately, you're going to have to unleash on the cops as well. They're part of the system. You know, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. All right, let's see. Channel again. Channel 1-800-DUMB. If Jimmy Bones comes in, he helps me with my deck. Okay. Whatever that is. Let's see if we got anything else going on here. No. All right. Let's go to the email. All right. Got some Stripe donation. Thank you very much. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, man held out of jail since Capital Riot was tied to a chair and savagely beaten by correction officers. Ooh, that's gonna be a good one. Let's see. Ryan Samuel, who's been held without bail since his arrest on January 6th and Capitol riots, was recently zip-tied to a chair for 12 hours and savagely beaten by correction officers. He will most likely lose vision in his right eye along with other serious... Yep. We're definitely going to have to look at that in the future. Okay. That's another thing I'm not a fan of is this civilian-run correction bullshit we have going on. That nothing stinks more of corruption and cronyism than paying somebody to imprison people, because there's an actual financial incentive to fucking keep them there. Let's see. That's okay. Thank you. Another one. All right, super chat question. This is from Eugene Capo. Can't say the rest of his name. Question: how many Antifa could Pop beat at once in a fight? Probably not that many. I'm old. I'm hurt. Slow. I will tongue lash them to death. But in all reality, I would probably execute situational awareness and get the fuck out of the AO. Because whenever you get, I've been in a few group melees, right? And we're talking 8-9 people fighting multiple other people, and things happen, bad things. People get stabbed. You could be, one guy I knew was, grappling with a guy, and then one of his buddy came around and stabbed him, and actually hit him in the kidney. He had to get a couple stitches in there and lost a lot of blood, almost died. So engaging in that kind of stuff is just stupid. And hopefully, unless I'm jumped or I have no other alternative than to defend myself, then of course I will. But if it ever got to the point where I got, where I actually was motivated to set up on you, you're royally fucked. All right, and I don't ever want to go back to that mindset. It fucking scares the shit out of me. And I've been there quite a few times, and that's where Evil Pop takes over the wheel, man. And so far, my track record when he comes out, it's pretty good. I'm still here. But thank you for the super chat. Okay, we got one here. Guy asking for gear information. I say, do I have any advice, experience running gear? I've been running 150 mgs test E a week, plus some Masteron. And then he's been alternating the Masteron with the Primo Bolin, and he says he's loving it. Okay, I gotcha. All right, so listen, I don't really have a lot of experience running gear myself. The medics, after I got wounded in Panama, we had a battalion commander put out an edict that if you were on profile and it was going to last more than 6 months, you were going to be released from the battalion and sent back to Lakeland. And I literally had fought 2 fucking years in an uphill battle just to get there, and I was not going to allow myself to be fucking turned out for, being wounded in combat. And the medics put me on some equipoise, which back then was not illegal, and helped me heal up right away. Well, other than that, I've never fucked with it. I did some testosterone replacement therapy after my TBI because my testosterone crashed. But I've been able to recover that into the normal ranges just using supplements and changing my eating habits and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a good tool. It's good to have. But like anything else, it's going to fuck you up. And I know lots of guys who got entangled up in gear and they literally became addicted to how they feel. Because it does make you feel superhuman. Truly it does. And they stayed on it for years. Of the 8 guys I know who were, big into that, 2 of them are dead now. 2 are, crippled because they literally power lifted themselves into a wheelchair. Your body's not designed for that, to do it over and over again, and they fuck themselves up. And the other ones, I mean, they're doing okay. One had a scare with cancer. But in the grand scheme of things, my personal opinion, if you're going to mess with anything, stick with a SARM and get yourself some Clomid so you don't crash your natural testosterone production, and try to get back to normal. You said you're right around 39. So, I mean, I'm not going to say you're too old for it, but realistically, at 39 years old, I mean, do you really need to look like a freight train? Not really. All right. Second part here, it says, second, I was in OAF 3 with the 1-5 Infantry Regiment, SBCT, got nailed by a SBVI car bomb with 10 155 rounds. Oh my God. On November 4th. Let's see. One dude clacked off in the chow hall on Fob Mertz by squad. A few others were the first responders been trying to get my claim assessed by the VA since March of 2021, but no progress. P.S. I caught the 2 dudes, sniper team trained by our SF, who dug out of Abu Ghraib. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's 10 155 rounds. That's a huge boom. All right. My advice is see if you can contact anyone in your chain of command to get a statement from them. And then you fall back on the people you were with who remember what happened and get some statements from them. And then you're going to have to, fight an uphill battle for your claim. Especially November of 04. Yeah, I mean, I was literally November 5th of 04. I was being medevaced out of Iraq to Langstuhl, Germany. And I got my IED exposure 28 August, and then on the morning of Halloween, I woke up to stroke-like symptoms and could barely walk. My eye was fucking not tracking. I was all fucked up. And that took like a year to heal. It's not the same still, but yeah. I mean, the VA is a whole nut roll, and I should probably put together or talk to people who have fought these battles before and get it out there to the grunts, because it's very complicated, and the people who know how it works don't know how to explain it to grunts. So I'll definitely see what we can do with that. Let's see. Okay. All right, I got that one there. Let's see. All right, so I have somebody asking here for the GiveSendGo account to Matt. I'm gonna contact him, have him email it to me. And then we'll put it out on the website and on the locals and Subscribestar. Let's get this guy some money so we can fight back, because they're quite literally fucking him. Okay, we got some more cards from Senior Dick Fitzwell. Excellent. All right. Okay. Wow. You guys send me a lot of emails, man. A lot of these have to get turned. They're long. Then I have to turn them into actual, videos. We filmed 2 today, actually. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. And let's see what we got here. All right. Well, hopefully you got. I know this one was a little dry, but it's important. There are a lot of guys are getting screwed over there, and you got to fight back. Okay. So Josh Paul saying it's on my citation paperwork for my RCOM. Okay, that's a start. And then you could literally go back to the chain of command on the RCOM, see if you can contact them and have them backdate you some sworn statements. Yeah, because you're going to need that when you fight the VA. They're stupid. Let's see. I can't really show the cards right now. I'll have them for next time or next week. Like Blake is off until Tuesday next week. The dude runs his own business. He's literally works Thursday to Sunday, where he puts in like maybe 40 hours. He shoots weddings. How ironic. And his boy's 8. He's happily married. And like I said before, I totally support him hanging out with his family. And I'm just going to have to figure this out. And I can do it. It's not rocket science. It just takes me some time. Okay. All right. Somebody's asking about what's my opinion that's going on in Ukraine. Let's just be honest. From what I've seen, I can only call what the Russians are doing as a rout. Like, quite literally, they left an insane amount of equipment behind and ran for their fucking lives. All right. Russia is ramping up supposedly 300,000 reservists. The word in the street is it's 1.2 to 2 million people. If they're allowed to do that, it's going to be very hard for Ukraine to fight that off. That's a huge fucking fighting force. And if Russia's willing to sacrifice up to 40% of those people to the graveyards, they can easily win this. Okay, and I don't like to say that. I'm just telling you that, hopefully that they'll be able to unfuck this whole thing and we can go back to business as usual. But we'll see. And I also had some guys ask in regards to do I think Russia is going to use nukes? And my answer is there's an outside chance that they would. That's basically 10% or less. All right. It will not go well for us for them or the world if they were to do this. Because if Russia sets off a nuke, I can tell you right now, we're going to retaliate. And just for good measure, we're probably going to hit China as well. They're already aligned. Fuck them. It is what it is. I don't want that to happen. But, I'm just a realist here. Let's see, Russians are known for fighting and training in cold winter weather. Yes, they are. But Ukraine is pretty much cold weather, and I'm sure they know how to fight in cold weather as well. Yeah, smooth criminal, tactical nuke. Yep. Let's see. Could Russia be framed for a nuclear attack? I don't know. That's so many levels above me. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, Fortis, Napoleon's army was annihilated in Russian campaign. Yes, it was. And that was another horrid fucking clusterfuck done by Napoleon. Right, yeah, a lot of people are worried about the nuke thing in the comments, man. It is what it is. Let's see. Don Craig, ask Leonidas and his 300 about what trained and disciplined small numbers could do. All right. You're talking about the Thermopylae Pass. Yes, there were 300 Spartans, but they weren't alone. The numbers are anywhere from 1,200 to 2,500 dudes. The 300 Spartans stayed behind as a basically a sacrificial action to allow everyone else to escape, to get the word out so they could marshal their forces. But yeah, it wasn't held by just 300. Just being realistic here. Okay, let's see. Cesspool endeavors. Russia is losing badly. Yes, they are. MGTOW Monger, hey, nukes would finish off feminism. I'm down with that. No, you're not. I don't want to see that happen. Okay. Let's see, what's the point to blame Russia? Yeah. Listen, every single race that has existed on this planet has attacked and conquered people. It's what we do. It sucks, but it's true. We're evil hairless monkeys who are very proficient at killing the fuck out of each other. In fact, we spend a lot of money trying to figure out new and creative ways to kill each other. Absolute lunacy, I understand, but it was my profession for a majority of my life thus far. So it is what it is. Run towards the bomb. Let's see. Somebody's like, wait, Russia's losing? Well, they're not actually winning. I wouldn't say they're losing. I would say that if they want to win, they're going to have to like triple and quadruple down. Because what they have now is not cutting it. Strider 99, hey Pop, are you well? Okay, now for those of you that don't know, I've been fucking battling some funk for the past year and a half. I think maybe it was some like low-level COVID horse shit. And the way it works is I feel like crap. I get a small fever. Go to bed, relax, hydrate, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Break the fever 2 or 3 days. Feel better for 3 or 4 weeks, and then it starts over again. I have no idea what's going on with it. I've talked to my doctors. They've taken blood tests. They don't really know. All I can really do is just treat the symptoms, try to change my diet, and hopefully there's something that is being missed that my body will pick up and help unfuck this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was pretty bad there. And I went to California to visit a Green Beret buddy of mine who was having a birthday. Good dude. He was in selection with me, and then we hung out in the Q course when I went through. Great guy. Straight shooter. Like, literally, he's the guy you want to have at your 6 when shit goes fucking south. And I hope he says the same thing about me. Because, in all reality, all he'd have to do is call me on the phone and say, hey, I'm fucking life or death, let's go. And I'd be like, where you at? I'm on my way. And I'm literally on the first thing smoking in that direction. And, listen, if you have friends like that, you're a wealthy man. You truly are. And I can say this. I've got about a half a dozen guys in my circle of friends that I feel that way about and who have my 6 and have proved it on the battlefield, in conflict, and in the real world when it was fucking go time. And everything was on the line. These 6 guys. That's all I can say. All right. Let's see. Matt W. Did your buddy smoke Crips? Well, I can't really confirm that or not because, the statute of limitations on, expiring somebody from their meat suit never go away. I have no knowledge of such thing. I myself was not there, so it is what it is. But let's just say people got shot. Okay. Probably from shedding off spike proteins. Could be. Could be. Who knows what's going on with that craziness. All right, so smooth criminal. If attack nuke is used in Pripyat, it's going to restart the entire Chernobyl thing again. And it's not going to, you don't want that. See, technically all intercontinental ICP and missiles are hypersonic missiles. That's old technology from several decades ago. Yes, it is. They get around the speed thing by shooting them into low orbit where there is no atmosphere, and then they're on a time delay for a certain amount of time, and then they re-enter, and then a lot of them have more than one warhead that scatters about. And like I said, we are incredibly efficient at killing each other. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Count of Monte Cristo pop. Remind everyone I'm looking for a good federal attorney, looking for sure wins. Yeah? Okay. All right, Monte Cristo, do this for me. Put your GitSendGo information in the chat so everyone can see it. And I'll try to get the word out there because, to be honest, Wayne County's been sued before for this shit. There's probably other cases on the books for precedents that make it a lot easier for you. Eat plenty of cayenne pepper and garlic. I eat enough garlic. Let's see, Pop. I asked Pop about the horse paste, and he told me to email you. Sounds like you need to find out. I take it already. You're talking about ivermectin? Yeah. As soon as I popped a fever, I started taking it. That hydroxychloroquine. And then I have, it's a zinc supplement. It's got like 50 milligrams in there, which is a lot. And, I started taking it within 2 days. Fever's gone. And I just got to beat it down so I get rid of it, whatever it is. Okay. Swim and do cardio, noob. Yeah, I know. I got you. NemFX, sorry, which sickness? I have no idea what it is. I think it could be some kind of long-term bullshit from COVID. Who knows? It is what it is. All right, gentlemen, we've been going for about an hour and a half here, and I think we're going to pack it in. Listen, I want to thank everyone for showing up to the live stream. I'm truly honored. I don't know. Am I the only red pill guy out there who's doing comedy about this fucked up shit? Am I the only one making fun of this insanity that's taking place in our courts and out in the real world? And I mean, it's fucking amazing how fucked up it is. All right, Matt W. How do I feel about the Desert Eagle pistol? Looks good. Very intimidating. Would I want to have it in a firefight? No, I would not. Doesn't hold enough rounds, kicks too much, gives away your position because it has a hell of a muzzle flash. You're better off with a 9mm. We're hairless monkeys. It doesn't take much to put us down. Let's see. Mike G. Love the show from a 72-year-old 1-7 Cav grunt. Hoorah! All right, the Cav is in the house. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to finish up the lesson. Okay. All right, gentlemen. I think we're all cut up. If you send in a super chat and I did not get to it, put it in an email and we will address it probably Tuesday next week. All right. And I apologize. It's just me doing this. And It is what it is. Maybe Thursday I'll do a call-in show. We'll do a Thought Thursday, and you guys can call in and vent and tell all your crazy fucked up stories. Because, listen, no one else is doing that. No one. And it needs to happen. Men need to vent and tell their fucking horror stories. And the best part is like there's probably be somebody out there who's going through the same thing and feels it's only happening to them. And it's not. All right? You are not the boogeyman. You're just somebody that they're pinning the fucking, donkey tail on to make an idiot. You're not that. Fuck them. Let's see, we got another super chat here. Let's see. K note, what are your thoughts on the pistol brace determination from the ATF? First of all, when you need to put people, all right, if you pass a law and part of the punishment for violating that law is prison time, that's one thing. When you have an organization bureaucratically changing policies and then coming after you to throw you in prison, I totally do not agree with that whatsoever. All right? I am a firm Second Amendment guy. Shall not be infringed. So what, you know what that means to me? If I want to buy a fucking battleship, I should be able to buy a fucking battleship. If I want to have a destroyer or a PT boat or a fucking tank, fuck it. Why not? And it's just absolutely absurd that they're going so hard after the gun rights of this country, because that's the last defense against tyranny. Truly it is. All right, that's my take on it. All right. Take it easy. Thank you for your time and your support. And please share the show with your buddies out there. Okay? They need to hear this. I'm only telling the truth. There are not enough mentors out there for the young guys behind me. All right? It's too late for me. I've already made all the mistakes. I've lost my family. I've lost everything. But if I can get one guy behind me to succeed, it's all worth it. You guys take it easy.